Jai Hind everyone, welcome to my channel Brainy Teach. Today I am here with my next video in which we will discuss the remaining part of the chapter Ruling the Countryside. Before starting the explanation, I request you to like and subscribe the channel and also watch the video till end. Let's begin. Late 18th century, the company tried its best to expand the cultivation of opium and indigo. The British forced the cultivator in the various part of the India to produce other crops like jute, tea, sugarcane, wheat, cotton, and rice. The British used a variety of methods to expand the cultivation of the crop that they needed. In this slide, you can see the two prints. The first one is the Kalamkari print, and the second one is the Morris cotton print. The, the common thing between these two prints is the rich blue color, which is because of a dye called as indigo. The indigo is a dye which is produced from a plant which is called as indigo. The blue dye used in the Morris print was manufactured from the indigo plants cultivated in India. For the British, India was the biggest supplier of indigo in the world at that time. Now the question arises why there was a demand of the Indian indigo. In 13th century, Indian indigo was being used by the cloth manufacturers in Italy, France, and Britain to dye their clothes. The cost of indigo in European market was very high, and the European cloth manufacturer they were depended on another plant for the dye which is called woad to make the violet and blue dye. Indigo, which is produced from which is brought from the India, produces a very rich blue color, whereas the dye from the wood was plain and dull. That is why the people, the merchants, the manufacturers, they were liking to buy more indigo as compared to the wood. And this is the reason why, by the end of the 18th century, the demand for the Indian indigo grew more. Britain began to industrialize and its cotton production expanded dramatically, which created a new demand for the cloth dye. Due to some reason, the dye, the indigo, which was brought from the West Indies and America, both of them they stopped the supply of indigo, and because of that cloth dyer in the Britain now they started looking for the new sources of indigo supply. Facing the rising demand of indigo in the Europe, the East India Company in India it also looked for the different ways to expand the area where they can grow the indigo. From the last decade of 18th century, indigo cultivation in Bengal it expanded rapidly, and Bengal indigo came to dominate the world's market. As the indigo trade grew, commercial agents and the official of the company they started investing in the indigo production, and the numerous Scotchmen and Englishmen they came to India to become planter, and those who had no money to produce indigo could get loans from the company and the bank that were coming up at the end. Now, how was the indigo cultivated? In India, there were two main systems of indigo cultivation. The first one is the Nij cultivation, and the second one is a royalty cultivation. Within the system of niche cultivation, the planter they produced indigo in the land that they directly controlled. He either bought the land or rented it from other zamindars and produced indigo by directly employing hired laborers. The problem with the niche cultivation was that the planter they found it difficult to expand the area. Indigo could be cultivated only on a fertile land. Only small plots scattered over a landscape could be acquired. Planter needed large area in compact blocks to cultivate indigo for the plantation. Even the labor was not easy to find out because most of the labor they they were needed precisely at the time when the peasants were usually busy with their rice cultivation. Secondly, on a large scale, the planter required many plows and bullocks, and investing on purchase and maintenance of the plow was a very big problem. Till the late 19th century, planters were therefore reluctant to expand the area under niche cultivation. Under the royalty system, the planter they forced the royals to sign a contract, that is an agreement. They pressurized the villagers and the headmen to sign the contract on the behalf of the royals. Those who signed the contract, they got cash advances from the planter at the low rate of the interest to produce indigo. The planter provided the seed and the drills, while the cultivator they prepared the soil, sowed the seeds, and looked after the crops. At the time of the harvesting, a new loan was given to the royals, and the circle started all over again. The planter usually insisted the indigo be cultivated on the best soil where the peasants they preferred to cultivate rice. After an indigo harvest, the land could not be sown for the rice. Because of this, in March 1859, thousands of Ryots in Bengal refused to grow indigo. As the rebellion spread, Rohit refused to pay rent to the planters. They attacked indigo factories armed with the swords and spears, bows and arrows. Even women turned up to fight with pots, pans, and kitchen implement. Roy swore that they would no longer take advances to sow indigo, not they can be bullied by the planter, that is the Latials. In 1859, the Royals felt that they had the the local Jamidar and the village headmen, they also supported the rebellion against the planters. Because of this, the British government they set up a indigo commission to inquiry into the system of indigo production. The commission held the planters guilty and criticized them for the corrosive method they used with the indigo cultivators. After the revolt, the indigo production collapsed in Bihar, but the planter now shifted their operation to Bihar. With the discovery of synthetic dye in the late 19th century, their business was severely affected, but yet they managed to expand production. When Mahatma Gandhi returned from South Africa, a peasant from the Bihar persuaded him to visit Champaran and to see the plight of the indigo cultivators there. Mahatma Gandhi visited in 1917 marked the beginning of the Champaran movement against the indigo planter. Thus, we have completed the explanation of the chapter, hoping that you all have enjoyed and understood the chapter. Thank you for watching the video.